Alrighty, Friday, March 22nd, quick session recap here. Starting off with ES, it definitely was a much slower session today, kind of in alignment with what we saw yesterday, just a tighter range. Today, looking at the actual intraday range, we're talking about 17 points, right? So even tighter than what we had seen from yesterday. Looking at the daily bar here, if we jump into the daily time frame chart, what you're going to see is essentially 4 consecutive sessions higher starting on Monday. You have the FOMC move, which triggers the daily breakout, and then Thursday we have that exhaustion bar. The tricky part about the setup coming into today is you have that exhaustion bar, right? So it makes it very tough to be grabbing longs versus 5300 or anything like that, simply because again we're fighting in a daily time frame exhaustion bar. However, the big picture setup is quite bullish. So we have a potentially bearish daily print within the broader context of a daily time frame breakout play. And that's kind of whenever you have a setup like that, you'll typically get action like this where it's just much slower, more range bound. This could be described as choppiness, right? Markets are just kind of oscillating here near that 5,300 level of interest. If you take a fib retracement tool from essentially Wednesday's low, that pre-FOMC low right through there, up into yesterday's high, what you're going to see is price is kind of finding a bid versus that shallow Fibonacci, that 38% retracement. What I'll be looking for come Monday is how this near-term structure, if you look at just the past session, including yesterday's action, past 2 sessions essentially, a little bit of a near-term downtrend here, right? So I'd like to see some retest of the 5280, maybe even a retest of the breakout point before buyers really start to get involved with this move again. So far, price is just kind of settling into a near-term range with this volume point of control right through here near the 5,300. So 5,300 will definitely stay as a major level of interest coming into Monday. Also, we'll be looking at 5,280. Would not mind seeing a pullback into that 5,280, which is the 50% retracement level of that FOMC move, as well as Thursday's action. So you have the low up down into here and then the high from Thursday. That's the retracement. Now that 5280 is also a Fibonacci extension from this prior range, right? So we'll see how that is treated. Again, those I bring that up because those levels should be treated more as reference points rather than true levels of interest. So the best kind of level of interest is going to have some type of structural component with it, multiple tests of the level. Those are going to be the strongest levels. Like the easiest example here is the 5250 zone. This zone right through here, obviously a key area, right? And we just don't have that with the 5280. So again, still treating these more like reference points, right? 5300, we are starting to see a bunch of volume here. Unsurprisingly, those round numbers are usually going to generate a lot of volume and a lot of interest. And so no real surprise to see that actually turn into a real level of interest. Again, just to reiterate, as far as Monday, look at the trend here. Near-term trend lower, price again coming into the lows here on ES. So 5280 will be interesting, maybe even a retest of the prior breakout point. That does go against, again, the primary structure at play is a daily time frame breakout, right? So we're just looking for a near-term pullback to continue to look for long opportunities within the context of a big daily breakout. So that'll be the watch on Monday. I'll share a full write-up, full weekly time frame breakdown of the action here in ES with the weekly kickoff on Sunday. So keep an eye out for that. Now, moving over to NQ, the setup has been different all week. NQ did not trigger that daily breakout. All right, if I flip over to the hourly here, it is a little bit more clear what we can see here. I'd mentioned yesterday that NQ is going to be the favorable play for yesterday, and that sentiment continued into today. And again, the reason is because we have real levels to work with. We have real levels to lean risk against. Whereas ES just kind of floating up there with some Fibonacci extensions. Again, those can be good reference points for target setting and things like that, but they're not legitimate structure levels. So we have actual structure levels in NQ. That's what made the setup so much stronger, not only yesterday, but today as well. You have that retest of that 18,500, which was the main level of interest coming into today's session, holds as support. And you get an afternoon move of 125 points, which is pretty good. It's half an ATR move. It's nothing outstanding. It's definitely tradable. Personally, it was a much slower day for me. Well within the expectations of, kind of the action that we saw this week. Did get a couple of decent scalps off of this 500 area on the retest, and then right here into the close versus VWAP and some intraday structure. So some decent action today. Missed the entirety of this afternoon move, but that is all good. It's been a decent week, pretty good week as far as what we're going to be looking for here in NQ on Monday. Again, just keeping with the same levels, 18,500 by 18,620, kind of in the upper portion of this bigger picture hourly range. If you zoom out here, you're going to see essentially support zone all through here, right? And then resistance all through here. And so just using these as mid-range levels of interest to kind of get a sense of what the appetite for risk is as far as buyers are concerned. We have a rejection of that prior high, pulls back into 18,500 level of interest, key level, and you get the bounce. So price is doing a decent job of consolidating here near the range high, which is definitely a bullish development, right? We still want to be keeping an eye on potential daily time frame breakout here in NQ. So we'll see if that materializes next week or not. I'll continue to take it day by day, just trade the levels in the setup that we have on hand. No prediction or anything like that. Hope everyone had a good day, a good week, profitable week. As far as individual names, it's just MU staying on the list. So MU has been in play, looking for essentially the same idea that we had on watch today. Strength above today's high, 11.5, to test 114, potentially 117. So that'll be on watch on Monday. It is slow. It is off season rather for individual names, meaning we're outside of earnings season. So focus remains on the index. If you guys have any questions about anything, feel free to shoot me a DM. Hope everyone has a great weekend. I will see you Monday. Later.